Over the next 3 days, I'm going to be building 3 mocks based on one of the best Star Wars video games ever, Star Wars Republic Commando. I've been wanting to do this build challenge for some time now, as Republic Commando is one of my favorite video game campaigns of all time. So without further ado, let's get started with day 1.
Welcome to Geonosis, Create. It's nice to see they finally unhooked you from the simulators. I've been assigned as your advisor, and will be your eye in the sky until further notice, or we all get killed.
All 3 mocks will be built in chronological order according to the game, with the first mock starting at Geonosis. In the first part of this mission, Delta Squad was assigned to take out Sun Fac, who actually appears in Attack of the Clones for about 1 second, which Delta Squad eventually kills Sun Fac, and that is exactly what I'm going to be building with the first mock, the assassination of Sun Fac. I'm going to be using 2 16x16 plates along with medium nougat and all of my dark orange pieces. In the game, Sun Fac was hiding in some kind of cliff face or part of the Geonosian arena. I'll be starting the foundation with the rock work. I have to admit, I'm not the most confident with my rock work, although I do think it's turning out pretty good so far. And dark orange and medium nougat are definitely some of my favorite color combos to build with. The interior of the rock face is just complete filler brick. I'm just going to continue building up, using different variety of plates, wedge bricks, pretty much any unique part that will make this rock face look as realistic as possible. I'm going to take a break from the rock work for a second and focus on the landing pad where Sun Fac had his Geonosian starfighter on standby to escape. And that's exactly what I created here with this completely snot circular kind of landing platform where the Geonosian starfighter will be parked. I'm just going to be using a variety of different pieces to add more detail to the bridge. Now I'm just going to connect the rest of the bridge to the rock face. Now I'm going to build the exit out of the rock face that will kind of go onto the bridge where Sun Fac will be running out of to his Geonosian starfighter. And now I'll be building what's right above the landing pad, which is the balcony where Sev takes his sniper position and takes out Sun Fac. And now I'll be attaching the circular landing pad section that I built earlier. This will be held up by some translucent pieces. And here is the complete build. All we got to do is add some more details like some of these Geonosian spires. I always love finishing up a mock and just adding the final details that really bring this thing to life, but no mock is complete without the minifigures. So I'll be adding a couple of Geonosians that'll be attacking Sev and Boss on the balcony. And of course, let's add the awesome Clone Army Customs Delta Squad to the mock. So of course, we've got Sev in sniper position with Boss right beside him. I really wish I had the Mayday Figs custom Sun Fac to use in this mock, but unfortunately I don't own that minifigure. And I'll be adding the other members of Delta Squad, Scorch and Fixer. They'll be fighting off a couple of droids over here, and every commando's worst nightmare, the B2 Super Battle Droid. And here is the finished mock. I'm really happy with how the rock work came out. This was actually a more challenging mock than I had anticipated. With the extended landing pad and always having to build up to create the rock face, this was actually a good challenge. I've always wanted to recreate this scene in LEGO, and now that I finally have, I'm pretty happy with what I was able to create. Of course, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this mock. And now that Delta Squad's first mission is a success, let's move on to day 2.
Scorch, nothing better than a jungle hunt. Hiding in the bush, putting a plasma bolt through a hostile's cranium. Makes me feel alive.
Okay, now 07's getting me the creeps.
Second part of Republic Commando's campaign takes place in the Prosecutor, which is an acclimator assault ship, which has been taken over by droids and Trandoshans. And I'll be building the scene where Delta Squad has to take over this hangar that has been completely overrun by B1 battle droids, super battle droids, droidicas, basically everything. Delta Squad just has to fight overwhelming odds this entire mission. This is definitely one of the most difficult missions in the game. I'm super excited to start building it, so let's get started. This is going to be the biggest mock of the challenge. I'm using 9 of the 16x16 base plates. I'll be starting it off by throwing down a layer of filler brick, and I'll be using some snot bricks on the perimeter to create a black border. Black borders are always a nice aesthetic to add to your mock. They help your mock pop out a little bit more. Now I'm just going to be putting a layer of plate on top of the filler brick. This mock isn't going to be 100% accurate to the video game at all. I'll be using some creative liberty with the floor patterns and details. But this is how it looks so far. Off camera, I did build this doorway off to the side, as well as starting some of the wall patterns and techniques. As you can see, I used quite a bit of slopes and also some snot sections, like with these light panels, which are basically just a couple layers of plates stacked on top of each other with a white tile in the middle to kind of signify the lights that you sometimes see in Star Wars hangars. But I really like how this design came out. Along with these pieces are really helpful as well to add some more details to the wall. And I'll basically just be repeating this pattern of the wall all around the mock. Repeating the wall techniques that I showed earlier definitely took a little bit longer than I would have liked. This is the biggest mock of the challenge so far, but I'm really liking the way it's turning out. I also came up with this doorway design using some of the spring-loaded shooter bricks and simply placing them on their sides to make a nice little pattern or a technique that looks like a door. And I also made the door frame that'll go around it, and making sure to throw some white tiles in there that make it look like there's some lights around the door. And I also wanted to add a little bit more detail above the doorway just to kind of break up the monotony of the other wall patterns that I used. And so here is what that looks like. I'm pretty proud of what I was able to create with that. And now that the main body of the build is finished, I'm going to be adding some crates and boxes that Delta Squad and some of the droids will be taking cover behind. There is a ton of crates and boxes in the video game where you can take cover behind and order Delta Squad to take cover behind as well. And there's also these droid dispensers too. Now, I did not design these droid dispensers myself. I found these on rebreakerbowl.com where you can get the parts list and the instructions. Decided to add 2 of these droid dispensers and of course an overwhelming amount of droids. And here's the finished mock. And I've got to say, this is probably my favorite mock of this video. And quite possibly one of the best mocks I've ever built. So of course we've got Delta Squad facing an overwhelming amount of droids. They've kind of taken cover behind a whole bunch of crates, so we've got some B2 super battle droids, which Sev is kind of taking care of with a sniper, and some of the Clone Army custom B1 battle droids, and a couple popping out of the droid dispensers, and a couple of them getting blasted as well. And I wanted to add some more color to the mock, so that's what I did with the trans orange explosive right there in front of the droideka. That explosion is from the grenade launcher from Scorch. But I'm really happy with what I was able to accomplish with this mock, with the details and the patterns on the walls. I think it really came out great. But the second part of Delta Squad's campaign is finally over. Let's move on to day 3.
So, how many kills you got today, Psycho?
With a new wise guy.
Keep this comm clear, you two. Calm down, Fixer. Just having a little fun.
So the third and final part of Delta Squad's campaign in the video game takes place in Kashyyyk. And the scene I'll be building is where they have to infiltrate a Trandoshan camp. This will definitely be a fun mock to build with all the different colors I'll be using, and of course building that Trandoshan fort that you see in the game. This mock will be built on 4 of the 16x16 plates, and of course the first thing I'll be building is that black border around the base plates, and filling it in with filler brick, and then using some medium nougat and dark tan plates to start with the terrain. I'll first be kind of trying to outline the fort and building up some of the walls. From what I saw in the game, there's kind of these pillars that are on either side of the main door that kind of use some inverted slopes, so that's kind of what I replicated here along with that main doorway. And I'll be building this kind of wall off to the side that will be kind of acting as a defense platform that a Trandoshan will be taking cover on. And now let's move on to the terrain, where I'm going to be using medium nougat, dark tan, and dark green, along with some normal green plants and foliage. And then in the middle of the mock there, I kind of added a fallen tree as well that Delta Squad would be using to kind of snipe and take cover behind. This mock was definitely the easiest one to build, as it is the smallest and didn't use as many pieces as the other ones. But now it's time to add the minifigures. So I'll be starting to add these Trandoshans to the mock, which I created using a bunch of boss minifigures that I had. And these Trandoshans in the game are pretty crazy, so you kind of have these smaller grunt ones that have shotguns, and then these Trandoshan mercenaries, which have jetpacks and some different weapons. But now let's add Delta Squad to the mock as well. I've got Sev sniping over here in the corner, Fixer and Scorch taking cover behind this fallen tree, and of course Boss giving out orders. And finally, here's the finished mock. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out, although I don't think it's as good as the other two. Kind of wish I built the Trandoshan fort just a little bit bigger and taller, maybe used another base plate or so. But I do like the color variation of the terrain using the dark tan and medium nougat, as well as the dark green as well. And the different foliage I kind of included in the mock too. I think that looks pretty good. The main problem was that I was running low on the dark gray and light gray pieces, because I used the majority of them in the Acclimator hanger mock. Those Trandoshans look really cool in the mock as well. They're definitely a lot more of an interesting enemy for Delta Squad to fight, rather than just some normal droids that you see in every Clone Wars mock. But that is the end of day 3 and the end of the challenge. Thank you guys so much for watching this video if you've made it this far. This video definitely took a lot more work than I thought, especially in the building process of each mock. I'm really happy with how each mock has its kind of own unique color scheme and its own unique building techniques. But definitely let me know in the comments which of these 3 mocks is your favorite, and also leave any other ideas for building challenges you guys want to see. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.